What's going on with Man United then, eh? What's going on? What are they doing? Where's Mbeumo? What's happening? What is Rashford going to Barcelona? Is Garnacho going anywhere? Is Sancho going anywhere? Anthony, have we heard anything about Anthony? I know it's a long old transfer window, but surely they need to get a wiggle on now. Jim Ratcliffe's merry men. Such a fascinating ongoing story and saga, Manchester United. They'll forever be that, won't they? Like that, no matter what happens, there will always be box office, and that does not change now. They are a real unknown entity. With everyone's thinking, "Oh, Cunha, good signing," and I tend to agree with that. I'm trying to get my microphone pointed to me appropriately, which I agree. Bruno Fernandes is staying. He didn't go to Saudi. There's still this idea that Mason Mount is the perfect Amorim player. And they're going to add more goals, right? With Mbeumo and maybe a striker. Should Manchester United buy Nicholas Jackson? Do they have the money for him? Maybe we'll talk about that as well. So I want to speak about it today. I'm going to read a little bit from Carl Anker's article on The Athletic about Mbeumo. And then we'll speak about Rashford, Barcelona, what they should do with a striker and all that stuff. So welcome on back to Football Yannick, my YouTube channel here, my passion project as it were, where I upload every single day about the big stories in the world's game, football. So thank you for joining me, thank you for liking this video and subscribing. Okay, so in early June, a month ago, The Athletic reported that Mbeumo's desire to make a move to Man United, if he leaves Brentford, he wants to go to United. 1 month later, and at least 2 transfer bids later, and Mbeumo remains a Brentford player. A month can seem like an eternity in the world of football, especially in the transfer window. An even longer period during a summer literally said that. Me and Carl Anker, minds aligned. The United's pursuit of the 25-year-old has led to certain sections of the club's fan base growing anxious. When will Mbeumo be confirmed as a United player? And if a reasonable deal cannot be struck soon, should United walk away from the negotiating table? It's time for another argument with one's self. So it's the stick or twist edition of the Bryan Mbeumo stick or twist edition. This is a fascinating scenario. They made a few £1 million, of course, with the sell-on fee with Anthony Elanga. I mean, man, that alone as well. It just shows you again, another player thriving elsewhere. 11 assists in the last Premier League campaign, going for £55 million. It's been toxic. It's been horrendous. It's been like abhorrent level of team building. I mean, I don't mean that as in like emotional, social. I mean that as in actually constructing a team. It's been terrible. There's been dressing room leaks. The whole thing needs be sanitized and cleared out and wiped clean and started again. And I guess that's what they're trying to do. Just get some of these big names out who's, I don't know if they're rotten in terms of character, but they sort of represent the past regime. So I suppose you look at your Marcus Rashford, who now, I suppose Nico Williams isn't going to Barcelona. He's got a chance to get his Barcelona move, and it is his Barcelona. Of course he wants to go to Barcelona. Real Madrid have, got these other English boys, his mates, and Jude Bellingham and Trent Alexander-Arnold. They're probably a bit clogged up there. He's not going to, obviously they've got Mbappe and Vini to play on the left. He's got his chance to go to the other, Classico club. I'd quite like it. I'd love to see it happening, personally. So, that would be great. Sancho, absolutely no idea. Maybe Turkey. If he really does want to keep making money, Jadon Sancho, the tax laws out there afford you a better opportunity to make money. Maybe he goes to join Mourinho at Fenerbahce. I don't know if that story's got legs. Anthony, really weird one. Maybe Anthony, I don't know if he'll want to go to Saudi, because there's already talks that he'll lower his wages to go to Betis or get his move elsewhere. So I think Anthony will knock about. Because he gets called up to the Brazil team. I don't know if Ancelotti still calls him up, but he does get called up. And Garnacho is fascinating. Of course, Chelsea look to him. We do need another left-sided player now. Madueke has gone to Arsenal. We need Napoli to come in with a big bid for him. Garnacho is a player with a high ceiling. I'm not gonna sit here and say he's not a talent. He's a talent. He's got a high ceiling, but there's problematic elements of him as well. So we'll see what happens there. And yeah, so there's plenty of work to do. But like, what do they need? Like, you've got Xerxes, this like 9.5 sort of in half space player. Højlund just can't be. He cannot be Manchester United striker, and I don't think they should be playing Cunha as a striker. They need to buy a striker. There's this idea that Man United can be good again next season, and I don't know how good they could be. Like, I don't think they could be necessarily top 4, but they could go from 15th to top 8. Which I think if you said that to, I don't know, I guess if you asked a Man United fan now, top 8 finish, some form of European competition, I think they'd just take that. I mean, I don't want to speak for United fans, but I guess they'd take that, and if they just look like a serious team again. But I kind of feel like I'll die on this hill. I think Mason Mount will be a really important player for Ruben Amorim, purely because he's won the Champions League in his exact formation, the 3-4-2-1 formation, and he can play in 2 parts of the box midfield. He can play as one of the inside 10s, and he can play in a sort of double pivot, provided he's next to maybe a more robust tackler. And a more of a CDM. So he can sort of play all over the gaff. He can even play as a false 9. I think he'll be an important sort of, tactics lieutenant for Amorim on the pitch. He's already waxed lyrical about him as a player in terms of knowing how to play the game, his game. They obviously need to get wing backs. They've got young centre backs, Delix, Lenny Oro, or Demman, even young Heaven coming in. But they need a striker, man. They need a striker. Of course, Bryan Mbeumo can play as a striker, but he's always played in a sort of 2-striker formation mainly, hasn't he? Like, he's always had a strike partner in like maybe a Thomas Frank 3-5-2 formation. So it'll be interesting to see if Bryan Mbeumo does come in. You've got like a sort of, I suppose you could have a front 3 of Mbeumo, Bruno and Cunha. I mean, we've been saying this for over a month now, like speculating about that exciting attack, but it's not coming to pass. Do they need to make sales first? Do they need to get this Garnacho deal over the line, like to maybe a Napoli or somewhere like that, before they can, move on Mbeumo? But there is an article. I'm just a long read, man. I'm going to spare you guys of it. And of course, they're looking at other players. They're looking at Fiorentina, young striker, the Italian. What's his name? I'm going to look. Moise Kean or Ken? Moise Kean? Was it Kean? Of course, we remember him, of course. Did he play for West Ham or Everton or something? I can't remember. But Ollie Watkins as well. Interestingly, like I was discussing with my Man United supporting friend, Nicholas Jackson, he said he'd take them. But we've obviously reacted to the free agents that have been offered to Man United. Your Callum Wilsons, your Dominic Calvert-Lewins, even your Jamie Vardys. They were circulating around the media a few days ago. I reacted to that, which is obviously enough to send a shudder a lot of down Man United fans. Spines. Ollie Watkins probably would be good because he's senior. They could sort of keep Rasmus Højlund knocking about, and learning under him. Ollie Watkins, he's got to be 30 now, surely, if not over. Hold on, that's not what I'm searching. Ollie Watkins. Oh, he's 29. To be fair, he turns 30 at the very end of this year on the 30th of December. I think it'd be a good signing, especially to give the opportunity for like Xerxes and Rasmus Højlund to develop a little bit. Moise Kean is doing really well this season for Fiorentina. He's sort of like, he never really popped off in terms of productivity and numbers, but this season, bro, like, he's got, or the season that's finished, you got 19 league goals and 3 assists, 22 goal involvements in 2,700 minutes. That's pretty darn strong. You'd have to say he's back in the Italy squad, 2 Nations League games, 2 goals. Very strong, of course. And then he got 4 goals in the Conference League as well. So he's pretty good. 26 goals last campaign. He would be a good signing. I think probably due to where they are, Man United, they would welcome. Again, I'm speculating always, of course, but I think Man United fans, if you said to them, You can sign Moise Kean, or would you sign Ollie Watkins? I don't know. I think because he's a sort of, a little bit more of a sort of like, when you exotic European sexy signing rather than like something you see all the time with an Ollie Watkins, when maybe actually an Ollie Watkins would dictate a more sensible signing. But I don't know. I think that maybe you'd see Moise Kean. Yeah, man. Manchester United are the Premier League club to have shown the most interest in Moise Kean from Fiorentina. He's got a €52 million release clause that can be triggered up to the 15th of July, which is only 3 days' time at time of recording. So €52 million, what's that, £45 million? It's, bang on the money, basically, £44.94 million. Seems like good value. And so the fact how he's like Italy's striker at the moment, they just aren't a striker. I don't personally, because they've got Mason Mount attacking midfielder, they've got Cunha attacking midfielder, they've got Bruno Fernandes attacking midfielder, even Joshua Zirkzee is kind of like an attacking midfielder. I would just put the money in a striker. I know Mbeumo got the Premier League goals last campaign, but there's no guarantee that's going to happen again. Anyway, fascinating, really, Manchester United. I'm going to be following this like Arsenal, like Liverpool, like all the, the big guns in the Premier League, reacting to the stories here. Whenever a story pops up, I will do so, react here. Let me know your thoughts. Please do comment down below, start up the conversation. Thank you for joining the community. You're welcome to. You just subscribe, hit the bell, like the video, all that lovely, nice stuff. Yeah, man, and I hope to see you back here soon. Peace.